The year was 1945. The world was already drowning in blood, but one last island, Okinawa, became the stage of hell. Why? Because whoever controlled Okinawa controlled the door to Japan itself. The United States saw it as the final stepping stone. Japan saw it as the last wall of defense. American generals wanted a clear path to invade the Japanese mainland. They needed an air base, close, large, and strategic. Okinawa was perfect. But for Japan, losing Okinawa meant losing everything. Emperor Hirohito ordered his generals to fight till death. Civilians were told, better die than surrender. Before the invasion even began, the U.S. fleet unleashed one of the largest bombardments in human history. For 5 days, more than 3,000 naval guns rained fire. Forests turned to ash, cliffs exploded, and the soil itself screamed. Soldiers called it the storm before hell. But behind this chaos, there was a dark calculation. U.S. commanders wanted to test how far Japan would go to defend. It wasn't just about territory, it was about psychology. Would Japan surrender before an atomic bomb was even necessary? Meanwhile, in the caves of Okinawa, Japanese soldiers dug tunnels, waiting like ghosts. They knew they couldn't win, yet they prepared to die. General Ushijima, the commander of the Japanese forces, wrote in his final note, "Our defeat is certain, but our spirit will live." When the invasion began, April 1st, 1945, ironically April Fool's Day, 180,000 American troops landed. What they faced wasn't an army waiting on the beaches. The Japanese waited underground. The silence before the traps exploded was unbearable. Soon, the island turned into a nightmare. Rain mixed with blood. Civilians ran with no place to go, trapped between two worlds. The Japanese army used them as shields, and the Americans saw every shadow as a threat. Humanity disappeared. But here's the truth no one wanted to admit. The people of Okinawa, not American, not Japanese, paid the real price. Families burned inside caves. Mothers jumped off cliffs with their babies, believing surrender meant shame. The island became a graveyard of the innocent. Even nature turned against them. Constant shell fire brought typhoons of dust. The sky stayed dark for weeks. Soldiers described it as fighting inside a dying world. Some lost their minds, laughing in terror. The human mind wasn't built for this kind of madness. And yet, in the eyes of the world's leaders, this was a victory. The U.S. finally captured Okinawa in June. But 12,500 Americans and more than 100,000 Japanese, soldiers and civilians, were dead. Victory tasted like ash. Why did it really happen? The U.S. gained a base for the final blow. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were within reach. Japan lost not just a battle, but its soul. And Okinawa? It lost its identity. forced to carry the weight of two nations' ambitions. After the battle, American scientists quietly studied the aftermath. They analyzed casualty ratios, resistance patterns, civilian behavior, to predict how Japan would react to nuclear bombing. The Okinawa experiment was complete. The irony was, when the atomic bombs finally fell, Japan surrendered, but Okinawa's people never recovered. For decades, the island carried U.S. military bases, foreign soldiers, and buried trauma. The war ended, but occupation never did. And the generals who planned it all? They became heroes. History celebrated their strategic brilliance. No one wrote about the children who hid in caves, whispering prayers under falling bombs. So next time someone says, Okinawa was a victory, remember, it wasn't won by bravery, but by the destruction of humanity itself. Every island has two sides, the one history shows you, and the one it hides forever under the ashes.